All right, Colin. Whoa.
LSU.
North Texas
Wow.
versus Tulane. Again, North Texas will be right here, an hour away from me.
You should go
Uh,
see him.
in New
Go
Orleans,
say
I
hi.
can't conflict,
Well,
conflict,
listen, I think you got to pick your first love.
scheduling conflict. You hate to see them. But yeah, North Texas versus Tulane. Um, in New Orleans, a game that begins the stretch of death that we have coined this stretch for North
This is the game
Texas.
of death.
This is the game of death. This is Here's where I'll start with Tulane. Tulane is, in my opinion, the best team in the American by a decent margin. I would have Memphis second right now.
Hmm.
Memphis, then SMU. And we saw obviously Tulane and Memphis play last Friday. Tulane comes back from down 21-10 to win 31-21. Very impressive showing in the second half from Tulane there. I think Tulane's the best team in the American. I think Tulane has an argument that they are the best team, the best G5 team in the country. I know Air Force gets a lot of love. Air Force is great. I think Tulane very well could have beaten Ole Miss if it had its starting quarterback in that game, and we could
Yep.
be talking about a 6-0, Tulane team that would be top 12 in the country or so.
Yeah.
Like that's the level of team we're talking about here. And I just need everybody to understand that it is also their homecoming game.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot of things that go into this game that I say, all right, I don't like the matchup for North Texas. I think Tulane is an incredible team. They obviously last year beat USC in a New Year's Six bowl. They lost a lot of talent from that team. Tajay Spears at running back, lost some defensive players too. But I'm going into this game with an open mind, an open heart. The spread is 20. The over under 63. Colin, how are you feeling going into it?
You said all that to say that they're gonna get destroyed.
I said all that to say I think Tulane is just on a different
Gonna
level
just
from
just
everybody else in the
yeah.
conference right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Except for Memphis, kind of.
Memphis looked really good in that game.
Yeah.
But even in that game, which we'll talk, I wanted to throw it to you, then throw it back to me, but I'll keep going. Seth Hennigan in that Memphis game played really, really, really well. And
Yeah.
that's what obviously Rogers is going to have to do. Like he's going to have to put the team on his back, make tough throw after tough throw.
Yeah. All right. So back to me now
Back to you.
after throwing it back to you. Uh, yeah. North Texas. I don't know, and personally, I don't see there's a way to win, but I'd like to see some competitiveness. Obviously, they're a top 23 team, or they are the 23rd team. Wins Memphis, UAB, Nicholls State, USM, but it's hard to preview a game where it's like they don't. When you, in your mind, you don't think there's a chance to win, because I personally don't think there's a chance for them to win.
Well, it becomes what do we want to see from North Texas?
Right, and I think what I'd like to see is Chandler Rogers have a good game in the context of playing Tulane, and the defense show some flashes still. Because although Tulane is not a super crazy offense, they can still put up points, and they are, like you said, are probably one of, if not the best group of five team out there.
All right, real quick on Tulane. I think one of my biggest concerns for North Texas going into this is um, the pass protection for Rogers. We saw it actually hold up pretty well against Temple. Obviously, Temple's maybe the worst team in the conference. I think we saw against Navy 8 sacks. Like they couldn't pick up blitzes. Offensive line kind of struggled. Tulane is on a different level as far as defensive line goes. I watched Tulane versus Ole Miss when I was prepping Ole Miss LSU. Tulane legitimately was better up front, had a better front seven than LSU did in that game, in their game against Ole Miss. Like
Yeah,
Tulane can get after the passer, can stuff the runs. Like the defensive line for Tulane is terrifying. And that's where this is a massive test for the offensive line. And like we said, Eric Morris last week, we thought called a great game.
mm-hmm.
And I still think that's true, but it's a little different calling a game where you are undermanned to this degree. And Tulane has proven against an SEC team that it can kind of bully it up front. Now you're going against North Texas, who, I mean, just speaking offense against Tulane's defense, that is a matchup that I'm scared of because we saw North Texas kind of just run all over Temple.
Yeah,
I
that's not
don't
gonna
I
happen.
don't expect that to be the case. I
Well,
think North Texas will score though.
I think
I don't think it will like I don't think they're gonna get shut out.
I don't think they'll get shut out. They're not gonna score as many points as they have been. But to
No.
your point about their front seven, uh, Tulane only allows 79 rushing yards a game. So for North Texas to try to lean on Oscar Adaway, Oscar or Adai, it's going to be tough, and Chandler's going to have to throw the ball a lot, assuming that they're down, especially. So he's going to have to get the ball out quick. You mentioned Eric Morris having play calls. He better have something dialed up where he can get that thing out quick because they're going to get to him. They're going to get to him.
I believe no, Ole Miss averaged only 2.5 yards per carry against Tulane.
Yeah.
35 carries for 89 yards. That does include sacks. Um, Ole Miss was able to throw the ball a bit better on Tulane. I think that's obviously like, and that's where you get into where Lane Kiffin, and that's where we want Eric Morris to kind of be the Americans' version of Lane Kiffin in terms of schematics, in terms
Yeah.
of being able to scheme players open, staying a step ahead. We saw against Tulane the scripted stuff was really really good. That's gonna have to be where they win some matchups. Like, and I know maybe we do it in our pick'em or something, but what's a reasonable like score you want North Texas? Like if North Texas scores 17 points,
I'd like 21, but 17's fine.
yeah, okay. So 3 touchdowns
Yeah.
preferably.
Yeah.
Jamori Macklin's obviously been great. The receiver unit has been very good. I just think this is a battle where if North Texas can't block Tulane and this becomes a one-dimensional matchup, I'm quite concerned
Yeah.
for North Texas as an offense. Again, I think regardless of what happens here, I'm probably not gonna take too much from it. Like, I'm not gonna come away and be like, "Oh, North Texas offense sucks now because they scored 10
Yeah.
against Tulane."
Right.
This is a step that I think North Texas is gonna have to take this year, and it's the best team they've played, like, by far. I think they're much better than Cal, and we're gonna have to see how they match up. Tulane, to this point in the year, I also wanna add this on, has 9 interceptions in 6 games. They
Mm,
are an incredibly aggressive defense. They're going to force turnovers. We just have to hope those turnovers don't kill field position as much. So,
right. Yeah, and to your point about not taking anything away from this game, I think the only thing we take away is if it was positive, because obviously then you're doing something good if it's
yeah,
against a good team.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, personally, I don't think it's going to be a skill position player issue. It's going to be that front, like you said, because obviously we know Macklin can get open. The running backs are good, but if Chandler doesn't have time to throw the ball, and if the running backs don't have holes to run through, then well,
yeah,
you don't have a whole lot of recipe for success there.
yeah. All right, let's flip it. Tulane's offense versus North Texas
Yeah,
defense. North Texas defense continues to rank pretty much at the bottom. Oh, also, last stat on Tulane's defense that I have is they are 33rd in the country in third down defense, allowing teams to only convert 34% of their third downs. Very, very
yeah,
good. Very good number there. Okay. Tulane's offense, Michael Pratt at quarterback, Hughes at running back. It is a really, really efficient offense. Like I said, when they lost to Ole Miss, they did not have Michael Pratt. um, and started Kai Horton, who I believe is a true freshman or second year player out of Carthage, Texas. So you have Michael Pratt back, or one of the better quarterbacks in the American, completing 70% of his throws, 9 touchdowns to 1 interception, 4 games played this year out of 6. He was good against Memphis. He's going to be good against North Texas. The question is, can you limit the big plays? I think. Can you make them work for some drives and try to get them in the red zone to hold them to 3 potentially? Not give up those boom plays that will just kind of torch you. So yeah, Michael Pratt at quarterback's really good. I was impressed with Mekhi Hughes at running back for Tulane against Memphis. He was shedding tackles left and
yeah,
right, which is very concerning for a North Texas defense that has struggled to tackle this year. So yeah, it's going to be an uphill battle.
to say the
We
least.
I don't want to alarm people, but if y'all thought this defense was turning a corner because of the Temple game, I think this is setting up to be you're going to be disappointed
Well, I
in
feel
this
like we
team.
prep people well enough in that last podcast if they listened that you're
Yeah,
playing a second string quarterback who doesn't throw the ball and an offense that only knows how to throw the ball.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm equally as concerned. Um, as you said, though, I don't think there's much you can take away from it. We know what Tulane is. I do want to kind of throw a big picture question out there just because it's kind of fun to say. What do you think it would take for North Texas to get to the point where they can compete with the Tulane?
You mean this in this game or in
Not in
big
this
picture?
game, but like obviously that's the goal, right?
Well,
Like
let's hold
you
on.
want to be a good group of 5 team.
Yeah, ask me that question in about 5 minutes. Let's finish recapping this game and then we can talk big picture.
Okay.
I think that's a good way of approaching. But I like that question. Um, the only thing I will say of this defense, the Nortex defense, that we can see if it's a positive, like again, we can only really take away positives here. We know what this defense is. We know its limitations. We know what it is and is not. I would like to see more of a four down front. I think they're
Mhm.
going to have to be more
I think that's
physical.
necessary.
Yeah, I don't think you can run the 3-3-5 against this offense. They're going to just gash it. Um, I feel like there are going to be opportunities maybe to make a play in the back end. This is big for Rich Tejada. This is big for the safeties. Um, and overall, I think this team just kind of has to approach this game as we got nothing to lose. Let's go out, play with
Yeah.
our hair on fire, maybe try to make a play. Like if the play is there to be made, go get it. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what else to take from this, but this is just a really good Tulane team, and it's not the same as like SMU, where we go into that game because it's a rivalry game. We play them every year, but this is a Temple team, a Tulane team that has accomplished infinitely more than SMU has in recent years. They are a better team this year than SMU. And so I don't want this to be a precursor for the rest of the stretch of death. I think
Right.
Tulane is on a um, level of its own
Yeah.
to a degree. And so I want to make sure people understand that when North Texas plays Memphis, SMU, and UTSA, my expectations will be higher.
Yeah.
All right. But at this moment, going into this game, I do not see a viable path for North Texas to win. And I think this is the only game this entire season I'm going to say that. So, again, maybe that's overly negative. Maybe I don't need to be that negative, but I think we'll come away from this game setting our expectations here.
Right. Then if
We're going
something
to be
good
like, all right,
happens,
now we
then
can look into what
yeah.
is improved, what we can take from this game moving into the rest of the stretch of death. Anything else on this one?
Nope.
All right, now we can go into your big picture
Okay. Do
question.
you want to
What
re-ask
would
it?
it take to get to Tulane's level
Not Tulane's level to compete with a team like Tulane.
to compete with a team like Tulane?
Because obviously you said they're a different because they are like to be a Memphis. What's it take to be in Memphis every year? What's it take to be? Because that's always been the goal for North Texas team, right? Like you when we got Seth, that was the
Yeah,
goal, and then you get some top 25 votes that one year, and you're like, oh,
yeah.
okay, we're a really good group of 5 team. Well, now you're kind of not that anymore. So what do you think it takes to get there in this conference?
I will say coach retention once you have a good coach. Willie Fritz for Tulane has been incredible. He
Mm-hmm.
could have left over this offseason. He's an older coach. He said, "Nope, I'm going to stay. I'm going to coach Tulane and we're going to, keep going." When you get that coach and you can retain them, I think that is a massive, massive part of it. And obviously Jeff Traylor, UTSA, similar type thing. Um, Memphis has kind of always been pretty good, regardless of the coach. But you look at Tulane's, you look at the other schools in the conference. It mostly depends on your coach and if you can retain that coach and if you can keep that going. I think that's the main thing. If Eric Morris ends up being a very good coach for North Texas, like kind of like Jeff Traylor, if he gets them to that Jeff Traylor level where they're winning 8, 9, 10 games a year,
Mm-hmm.
retaining them is number one priority, and that's obviously very, very difficult every year. But second to that, I would say something we talked about in the offseason. I think recruiting, obviously high school recruiting in the area is really, really big in terms of Tulane has New Orleans and the Louisiana area. North Texas has Dallas, the DFW area. I think if you recruit your area very well, especially in the transfer portal era,
Mm-hmm.
you have a better chance at retaining those players. You have a better chance at bringing those players home if they go somewhere else. I just think that's really, really important. So those would be my two main things. If you have a hotbed of talent like Memphis does, like Tulane does, North Texas does, I mean, we've even seen kind of Rice dip into Houston a bit
Yeah.
more than I think previously. So if you have those areas of hotbed talent, you have to really, really recruit them. So those would be the two things, big picture wise, which is kind of what we've always said. But those are my two things. I'd have to go look at. I wonder what Tulane's transfer class was this year.
I feel like it's got
So
to be
you
crazy.
can give your thoughts on that while I do that.
No, I completely agree because I mean, time and time again, we said that North Texas didn't have the foundation they needed to sustain that success that they had with Mason because they kind of just skipped all that and had Mason.
Yeah.
Eric Morris thus far has shown that he can recruit this area better a little bit, and that'll only hopefully improve. And then especially you mentioned the transfer portal era. I think I could correct me if I'm wrong that you can only transfer once now, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah,
So
if North Texas gets a transfer from somewhere, like
yeah,
they can't transfer somewhere else and play immediately. So that is a
right.
huge
So
boost.
I think that helps as well for especially group of 5 teams. And obviously North Texas being that. Um, I think the coach thing, like you said, Willie Fritz, he's older. I think it's gonna be really hard to hold an Eric Morris if he's really good
Yeah.
because we saw Seth, almost go to Kansas State, and then Jeff Traylor obviously is with UTSA, but I think we all know that that's eventually going to end just because of UTSA's facilities. But
Yeah.
I think building that foundation and that brand of UNT helps a lot more.
I'm looking at their transfer portal additions here. I do think it's going to be really important for North Texas to hit the transfer portal this year.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not a slight to the talent on the team. I think there is some talent on the team, but you have to get. I look at, for instance, Tulane got, and I haven't even checked. Let me see. Tulane got over the offseason. It says he's starting. So they added Cam Wire, who was a offensive lineman at LSU the
Mm-hmm.
past 2 years. Actually started in their first game last year before getting benched. But like you get those guys, right? You get the
Right.
backups
And
at
that's what allows you
LSU.
to compete with the SEC
Yeah,
schools.
exactly. Is they've been there. They know what it takes. Like then they get a corner from Northwestern. They get a receiver from Louisiana Lafayette. They get a wide receiver from Texas A&M. Um, they get, let's see, let's keep going down the list. Safety from Louisiana Lafayette. They get a running back from Liberty. Like you get those type of players, and they're not all going to work out, but the ones that do, you build up enough depth because then you don't have to rush in the young players. Imagine if North Texas had a linebacker transfer that was solid that could play. Then you maybe have a little bit more freedom to work with some other guys in there. I think that's my main thing going into whenever we do go into the offseason is, all right, how do they approach the transfer portal?
Yeah.
Because DFW has a lot of kids across the country that maybe want to come home or maybe aren't happy with where they're at. You pitch them on coming home and playing time. That's really, really strong for a lot of people. So
Yep.
that's what I'm interested in long
Yep.
term.
I agree.
Okay, pick them. Pick 'em,
Great.
pick 'em.
What's
All
the
right,
score? I'm
current
down 4-3.
current score, Bruni 16, Colin
Well,
12.
yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
Tulane. All right. My first one, Colin, I will pose to you. North Texas forced turnovers over under 0.5. Will
They
North
forced a
Texas
turnover.
will North Texas force a turnover? Yes or no?
This is a game where I feel like if Tulane gets a little too comfortable, he's only thrown one pick,
I know.
and he's played teams worse than North Texas.
Better.
Or yeah, but also worse.
Also worst, yes.
Yeah. So like trap game is what I'm saying. Like him
Yes.
like just getting crazy with it. Under.
Okay.
God, that's a great line. That's tough. I didn't even check the running back. You got hands, big fella? 0 fumbles. Okay, cool.
0 fumbles.
Yeah.
All right, that's
So
my first one. So that's a defensive one. Offense. Okay. So North Texas allowed 8 sacks against Navy.
Mhm.
Sacks allowed. Oh, this is a hard line to set. This is a really hard line to set. I'm gonna go sacks allowed 4.5.
4.5. See, I feel like he's gonna get hit a lot, but will they all be sacks?
That's a good question.
Oh man. I mean, so against Memphis, they had only 3 sacks.
Yeah, but Hennigan was getting hit in that game too.
That's what I mean. Like, what's gonna be a hit and what's gonna be a sack? That's
Yeah.
tough. You said 4.5.
Yep. I like that line.
Oh, that's such a good line. Give me
I'm good either way. I'm happy
under.
either way. You said the under? Okay.
Yeah. God, that's a tough line. That's a really good line. Yeah, these are way better than last week. Maybe we'll actually not just swap and
Yeah,
get
win
even
the other
picks.
person's lines.
Yeah.
We've been doing
All
it.
right. Mine. Chandler Rogers has also only thrown 1 pick.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna have to get the ball out quicker. Chandler Rogers. Oh, this is
Yard
tough. Over under.
downs.
I was gonna say 2.5 picks, but I think that's crazy.
Say whatever you want.
1.5 picks. He throws 1.5 picks.
I'm gonna say under.
Okay.
I'm kind of scared of that.
I think it's a pretty good line. I think it's a pretty good line.
That's a pretty good line.
Okay, so that's an offensive or defensive one.
That's an offensive one.
Or offensive one, my fault. Let's do Jamori Macklin. No, we didn't run rush yards per carry or yards per carry too much. Let's not do that. Jamori Macklin. Gosh, he's going crazy.
Shout out to Jamori Macklin. I think he is tied for. Well, there's like 3 people. There's like 4 people that have 9 touchdowns, and he has 8. So
he
he's
has
like
8. Yeah,
whatever, tied for 5th or something. I don't know.
All right, Jamori Macklin. Over under. No, I can't do that. We're gonna do a Tulane score. Tulane over under 39.5 points.
Over.
I'm hoping that clock gets killed. That's what I'm hoping for. See, but I don't know if it's gonna be over. I don't know
Okay.
if it's gonna be over.
Well, you have the
They
under.
only put up 35 against UAB. They actually haven't broken 40 this year.
Colin,
They played Nicholls State.
Have they played North Texas?
They played Nicholls State. Nicholls State, they put up 36. Southern Miss, they put up 21. I like this line. Lock it in.
All right, we're locking it in. All right, final score predictions.
It's you.
I'm going 45 to 20. 45 to damn, I don't like this. 45 to 20 Tulane.
45 to 20. Damn. I'm going to go 39 to keep my under.
Yeah.
To
39.
I wanted to say 21, but I can't do that with you at 20.
No, do it. Do whatever you want.
Oh, but if I get the exact score, that's big. But they're gonna have field goals. I'm gonna go.
But you have 39. Nobody's scoring 39. You don't have you're not getting the exact score.
Someone could score 39, Bruni.
Sure. Okay. All right, what you got? Come on.
39 to 21. Then.
All right, there you have it. We'll have our graphic out later in the week. Let us know what you think.
I need points.
Colin needs points here. We're getting to the back half of the season.
I can't keep washing. I just can't. We can't. I can't. You keep picking away 1 week at a time. 1 point here, 1 point there.
Yep. You need a 5-0 week. That's what you need.
I need like a 2 point. Like if I get 2 points, I'm on cloud 9. We're good.
I don't even think that's possible because it's either
to get to your
5-0,
queen?
4-1, 3-2,
504. I can't get. Oh yeah, you're right.
unless there's a push somewhere. Like if we push the score, I guess.
Mm.
Okay. Well, that's all we have for y'all today. Hope y'all enjoyed the episode. If you're watching on YouTube, check out all of the videos. We're putting them out separate now. So the Aaron Scott video will be separate from this. Hope y'all enjoyed that. Shout out to Aaron for coming on. Next week, we might try to have another big time guest on. We'll see because their scrimmage is coming up very soon. So got to get them before the season starts. Yeah, we'll be back after or sometime, maybe probably Sunday morning because the game is late, isn't it? 7 p.m.
It is at 2:30.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh man, my day just got way easier than. Yeah, 2:30. Okay. Still probably have to do it on Sunday morning,
Yeah, I'll be at a baby shower.
or Saturday night. Okay, we'll figure it out. We will figure it out. That's all we got for y'all today. Hope y'all enjoyed the episode. Leave us a like, comment, share, subscribe. And yeah, follow us on Twitter. I think we're almost at 270, Colin.
Only need 2 last week, Bruni.
We were at 269 last I checked. Let's see.
We're at 269.
Oof.
Tough. Very tough.
You hate to see it.
37% of you aren't subscribed, so subscribe. Thank you.
Subscribe, please. And if you're watching this as a Temple fan or a Tulane fan,
Subscribe anyways.
It's gonna kill me going back and forth between Temple and Tulane. If you're a Tulane fan, subscribe anyways. You know, go ahead, talk.
Pump those numbers up.
Yeah, pop those numbers up. Yeah, hey, UTSA. If we make a video about UTSA, we get like 1,000 views. So go ahead. I mean, Cal as well. Cal people liked watching our stuff. So shout out to the Tulane fans. Check us
UTSA
out.
people are different though because they hate North Texas, whereas
Yeah.
Cal doesn't hate North Texas.
Well,
so.
Cal video got 1.1K.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm saying UTSA people watch, they won't subscribe.
True. All right. Thank you for joining us. We will talk to you later.